Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Tara Ross and I want to welcome you to my presentation on social media for faculty. There has been a lot of research and studies done on the idea of social media in the classroom, both for the online classroom and the face-to-face classroom and for the K-12 classroom. However, this presentation is really going to focus on social media outside the classroom and how it can help faculty to promote their careers, get jobs, acquire consulting leads, gain clients, collaborate on research, and really just expand the boundaries of what they're doing right now. Why social media? Well, social media can help you expand the reach of your brand. The research that you do, the field that you're in, the consulting that you want to do, those things that define your career self, social media can help you expand that reach. It can help you establish authority in your field. It can help to increase exposure for what you're doing, and it can help generate awareness of an upcoming event. So where to start? There is a sense that there are so many social media platforms out there that it can really be overwhelming. And if we try to engage in all of these social media platforms, it would be so time consuming. There are just too many options, and we would present just a watered down version of ourselves across so many different social media platforms that we wouldn't have very much impact. So the goals for this presentation is to figure out where to start with social media and help you in establishing goals, helping you to find your niche, and helping you to design your strategy for using social media to promote the things that you want to do. The first thing to do is to check your motive. Beyond using social media in the classroom, what do you want to do with it? Do you want it for job connections, for a book launch? Do you want to develop alternate income streams? So where you really want to start with social media is in helping others. The ethos of social media is to promote others more than you promote yourself. It's the 90-10 rule. It's the altruism of social media. 90% of the time you are sharing others' information, you're helping others connect to people in your network, you're promoting their work, and 10% of the time you're promoting yourself. And when you do that, the rewards really do come back to you. Step 2 is to establish goals. So if you want to expand your reach, if you want to get your great content out to more people, you want to look at the different platforms that would be best for the content that you have. As you can see here, the users in millions of the different social media platforms in 2013 show that Facebook and YouTube really run away with it in terms of the number of users. However, I don't want you to discount some of the smaller social media platforms because they're very powerful. Pinterest, LinkedIn, especially for academics, LinkedIn is the place where you want to be, if nowhere else. iTunes if you want a podcast. Google Plus if you are trying to rank highly in Google search engines. If your goal is to establish your online authority beyond your classroom, maybe you want to build an audience for your blog, you want to gain customers for your product, you want to develop a readership platform for your book, maybe you want to be asked to speak at conferences, you want to be known as an expert in a particular field, social media can help to get you there. Perhaps you want to use social media to help increase awareness of your brand. Maybe you want to gain attention of recruiters at different universities looking to fill faculty positions or research positions. Maybe you want to have a leading edge over the competition. Maybe you want to be in demand for your consulting, or you want to collaborate on research and other projects. Finally, maybe you want to build excitement for an upcoming event. You you have a book or a product that's launching. You are going to be hosting a webinar, or you decided to run a podcast. Maybe you have an online course that you've written and that you're leading on your website or on Udemy, which is a platform where you can write your course and sell it to others. Step 3 is to know your audience. So who is your audience? Well, it can be those with goals who need my help in getting to their goals. It can be those who want to hire me for a particular consulting job. It could be those who have similar interests to me. It could be those with a problem I can help solve. And who else could be your audience? Who else would find that the information that you provide, the content that you provide, is helpful to them? So in finding your niche, it's where you develop your content, and it may be different from what you teach. My teaching background, my credentials are in political science and educational leadership. My niche, what I write in, what I publish in on Amazon, is totally different. It's social media. And for me, I find that that's fun. It's a nice diversion from academia, and I enjoy it a lot. So your niche doesn't necessarily need to be what you went to school for, although it certainly is a logical place to have a niche if you have one that's in demand. So what you want to do, though, is find out what people's problems, fears, and dreams are and address them. And when you can address them in your niche, then you're going to find that your products, your content, your books, your consulting is in demand. One way that you can find out what people want, what their problems are, what their fears are, what their dreams are, is to go to Amazon and look at the Kindle store, the bookstore, and the nonfiction section. And that is going to show you all of the how-to books that people are buying specifically to tell them how to solve a particular problem, or how to develop a new skill, or how to reach a new goal. That is one way to look at perhaps gaining a niche in an area that you have some skill in. So in finding your niche, ask, what how-to questions do people always ask you? What are they always coming to you about? And what do you love to do? What is your passion? So if you can take your passions and the passions and problems and fears of other people and then combine them, where those two overlap, that can be your niche. So step 4 is to design your strategy. First, you want to decide on your platform. Is it going to be a blog, a podcast, YouTube videos, ebooks? And remember that you're a content creator already. Don't be intimidated by the idea of doing videos or podcasts or writing on a blog or writing books, because you already likely, if you're in higher education, you create lesson plans, you design presentations, you hold online chats, maybe you create online courses or on-ground courses, maybe you've developed academic programs, perhaps you've designed and conducted research studies. You're already well versed in the idea of creating content. And once you've created that awesome content, once you've defined your niche and you've created content for it, then you're going to want to share it on the different social media platforms in ways that are native to those platforms. So if you're going to share it on LinkedIn, for example, you are going to want to write about it academically and share it, using a more academic prose. If you're going to be sharing the content on Facebook, you might do more behind the scenes information with some fun pictures. If you're going to share it on Pinterest, you're going to be using pictures and videos to tell your story. If you're going to be sharing it on YouTube, obviously you're going to be showing how-to videos of the particular content that you are delivering. Then the next step is to expand your reach using social media. So you're going to take the content that you've written in your ebook or produced on your videos or your podcasts or on your blog, and you're going to repurpose it, not copy it word for word, and repurpose it, paraphrase it like we tell students to do, and post parts of it as a status update on Facebook with a link to content to your blog, so it drives traffic to your blog. You're going to post longer posts on Google Plus, keyword rich posts with link to the content, because this is heavily indexed by Google and will get you more search engine optimization on Google when you use Google Plus. If you want to use YouTube, you could create a video walkthrough of your content with visuals and how-tos. Even if you create an online course and it's already in video, you can do shorter videos as teasers and put these out on YouTube and on your blog and on Facebook and other places. If you're going to have pictures from your content, create a keyword-rich pin on Pinterest and upload that to a pin board. You can also put videos on Pinterest. With Pinterest, or with any content really, you want to use visual elements to engage the reader and to generate interest. Pinterest really has a high trust factor among users. Purchases are twice as high from Pinterest than they are from, say, Facebook or Twitter. So if you have developed a product or a content item for sale, and it's something that you can display in a photographic form, then Pinterest might be a perfect place for you to post it with a description and a $sign, and then it immediately is tagged as an item for sale. And you're going to have better luck selling on Pinterest than you will have selling it on Facebook or Twitter. You're going to, if you can think of creating content collections or visual hyperlinks that curate content together visually, you've now created a dynamic list. You've created a visual list. I know this wasn't a presentation about social media in the classroom, but one thing that I have done is created a pin board of political science organizations and think tanks and research centers and used their logos as the image and hyperlinked the pin to those particular organizations. Now, I could have just created a list and handed that out to my students, but I've created a pin board, and that's generated some interest among people well outside my classrooms, and it shows me as somebody who is engaged in my subject matter. So I've created what I would call, a visual list rather than just, a printed one. And then you can use apps like Pinwords. Just go to pinwords.com to make your pins even more visually interesting. So I took a picture that I took when I was in France this summer. I uploaded it to Pinwords. I added some text overlay, and there I have it. I'm done. Took me about 30 seconds. If you want to promote your content, again, think repurposing. How can you break up your content and present it in different formats to get it out to more people so they'll turn around and buy your product? You might decide to hold a Google Hangout on air to build excitement for an upcoming book or seminar or product release. You might want to upload presentations to SlideShare or Scribd, as well as other free sites. You want to think about clustering too, because obviously you're not going to always have content that you're promoting. But when you do have content that you're promoting, if you are launching a book or an iPhone app or whatever it is, think about clustering your content out over 2 weeks for maximum exposure. Be everywhere. Post your content to SlideShare and Scribd, and hold a Google Hangout, and post some videos to YouTube, and create some boards on Pinterest, and guest post on different blogs. And if you're lucky enough to have contacts with people who do podcasts, maybe you can get interviewed on podcasts. These are all great ways to promote your content that you're just repurposing publicly. One way to publish your content is to use Amazon Kindle Direct Publishing, or KDP. If you price your books between $2.99 and $9.99, you will receive a 70% commission. And think about this too. Amazon is the world's #1 marketplace with 300 million credit cards on file. So people go to Amazon to buy, and they might as well be buying your stuff. So get some books up on Amazon. You can also publish your content right on your blog as a PDF. Use your website to publish original content and keep 100% of the commission. If you have enough of a following, this might be the way to go. If not, Amazon has, again, 300 million credit card users on file. They might provide you with a better response. But if you do have a good following or even a built-in following, publishing content on your blog might be ideal. And when you do that, you might want to consider creating packages so that people have a choice of purchasing package 1, 2, or 3. And, with 1 being just the basic item and 2 being the most popular combination of ebook and videos perhaps, and the 3rd being the deluxe package of the ebook, the videos, the study guide, and the webinars. And what some marketers that have done this have found is that not only do they obviously get more income when they sell packages, but as a whole, people tend to purchase more when there are package options. People like packages. Let's talk about your blog too. You want to really maximize your website to encourage social media following, and almost all of the social media platforms have ways to embed parts of their platform right onto your blog. So you can add a Facebook like box right in the column of your website. People can like your Facebook page without ever leaving your blog. What you definitely want to do is, don't put a Facebook link up at the top of your blog for people to click on so that they like your page and take them away from your blog. Your ultimate goal is to have people go from social media to your blog. And the nice thing about the like box or the embedded Twitter feed or the Google Plus badge is that people never have to leave your blog to like you and follow you on social media. You want to give your audience many different ways to connect with you. Another goal of yours might be that you want to build authority, and using specific social media platforms can help get you there. One of the things you can do is connect your social media accounts. So if you have published information on a blog and you have a Google Plus account, you can do what is called Google authorship, which is to link your Google Plus account with websites where you are a recognized author, such as your blog, but this could also be maybe web magazines where you are syndicated and you publish. Any of those types of sites will may allow you to set up your Google authorship by connecting your Google Plus account with those sites. And then what happens is that Google will index you with your picture, so that, let's say, as you can see here's my picture. And if I was to type up, if I was to put in a Google search term, something about Vernazza, Italy, and the horrible storms they had in 2011, or 2011, I would, put in certain keywords, and then, the search results would come up, and one of the results would have my picture on it because I wrote an article about that on my website. And so when people are looking at the search results and they see pictures next to the search results, it lends an air of authority, and they are more likely to click on your link than one that doesn't have that picture. So definitely connect those accounts. When you publish an ebook or other content, when you publish on your blog, when you have set up Google authorship, and when you have increased your search engine optimization, this is helping you to increase your online authority. Now, let's talk about the power of audio and video, because so far we've been talking about the written word. YouTube is the number 2 search engine in the world. And so that's something and it's owned by Google. So obviously Google indexes videos pretty highly. They're always on the first page of Google search results. Podcasts, in terms of audio, have grown in popularity with over 1 billion downloads on iTunes as of last year. Plus, there are fewer podcasts to compete with overall. So let's look at some interesting stats about that. There are 97 million people that commute to work each day alone in their cars. So give them something to listen to. Give people, and even more than that, commute to work, using public transportation or, with somebody else. Give them something to listen to. There are 450 million active blogs and 1.2 million new hours of content added to YouTube each month. That's a lot of competition for your content. So am I saying that you shouldn't do those things? No, you definitely need to do those things. But if you really want to stand out and get noticed, there are only 200,000 active podcasts, and of those, many aren't any good. So if you can put together a quality podcast, you've already leapfrogged over a lot of your competition. Okay, so let's talk about increasing brand awareness. And in academia, I know it sounds weird to think of oneself as a brand, but we are a brand. Our research helps to define us. Our writing, those things we've published, the presentations that we've done, the credentials that we have, help to create our brand. And in this era of massive amounts of applicants applying for single jobs at universities, it helps to have a strong online brand. LinkedIn is the number one way to do this, and it's now the preferred tool for recruiters. 77% of recruiters use LinkedIn more than anything else. You can also utilize LinkedIn groups to make connections. Connect with people who work in different universities where you may want to work, or corporations where you may want to work. Get to know them in groups that they may be hanging out in. Joining different LinkedIn groups where others like you are hanging out is fine, but that may not be where you get a job. You need to be where the managers and the supervisors and the institutional leaders are hanging out, and I doubt they're hanging out in the place where people are looking for jobs. So go to the groups where they're hanging out, and that may have nothing to do with higher ed or their career. It might have everything to do with the philanthropy that they are involved with. So it does take a little bit of reconnaissance on your part to learn who the hiring managers are, or the people that you want to connect with, and find out what groups they are in on LinkedIn. But when you do that, you can engage them in a much smaller environment, purposefully, authentically. The other nice thing about LinkedIn is that it allows you to embed your documents right on your LinkedIn profile. So, for example, here is my part of my profile where I've listed some of my research presentations and my dissertation as well. And now, rather than just seeing it listed, if someone is interested, they can click on that and actually read my dissertation, see my presentations, and they can be assured that the content that I say that I've done, I've actually done because I'm showing it here. Another lesser known platform that you may be interested in is Academia EDU. It's a smaller version of LinkedIn. It's for academics, obviously, but what it does is create departmental profiles, so that the geology department at State University can have an Academia EDU profile to show the organizational chart, the individual members, and you can click on the individual members and see their different research profiles and presentations and publications. And you can also search Academia EDU for content related to research you may be interested in, to see who else is published in that area. It's a great way to find fellow researchers for potential collaboration down the road. One of your goals may be to generate awareness of an upcoming event that you're holding. So if you're launching a book, for example, maybe you share a chapter of your publication on Scribd or post a presentation of it on SlideShare. Maybe you give it out via email. You could also submit your content to curators such as StumbleUpon and Reddit. You can guest post on other blogs. Think of not just your blog as where you hang your hat, but everybody's blog is your blog. Post on other blogs and gain the attention of those audiences, and then reciprocate and allow people to post on your blogs. Then just think about being everywhere. Make it so people keep tripping over your content, especially in that phase of time, that launch phase of time, if you're trying to get noticed for a particular thing. So remember, social media can help you to expand your reach, establish your online authority, increase your exposure, and generate awareness of an upcoming event. A couple things here. I have 2 books about social media published on Amazon. The first one, Daily Actions for Social Media Mastery, goes platform by platform to explain how to set it up, set up the different platforms and different things that you can do with them. Daily Actions for Social Networking Success really goes beyond that to help you identify ways to use social media to network for jobs and clients and customers. It's a lot of strategy and a lot of great tips in there. So I want to thank you so much for attending. If you are interested in viewing my how-to videos on social media, you can go to my website at journeys.com/how-to, HOWTO, or you can contact me. I'm Tara Ross at TWR1028 at gmail.com. Thank you and have a great day.